This is Past But Not Gone podcast. 30 years of Proem Ministries. Past But Not Gone, Proem 30 years. Welcome to another episode of our podcast today. If you're watching us and you're looking at my special guests, you probably know what area of our ministry we'll be talking about. But if you're listening, you may not know. So let me just give you the names of the people that I have today in our studio. Piotrek Cichocki, Cichy, Agata Dwulat, Przemek Dwulat, Michael Kupczyk, and Karolina Kupczyk. And everything probably has become clear for all of you. Exodus 15 band today with us. Guys, we're going to be talking about a little bit of history, but not only about the history. We want to talk a little bit about you and how the band became the band. But before that happens, Exodus 15. Let's just open it up with explanation of what Exodus 15 is for those of us who don't know what it actually means.
You mean the name?
Yes, I mean the name. And it's a question to you, because Karina, I know it's your favorite question.
Yes.
And you are the one answering this
Well,
question.
in general, Exodus 15 is a band, but we like to think of this band more as just a band, but more like a bigger project, music worship project in our ministry in Proem. So there are lots of people involved in it, and sometimes we rotate and we do different other things. So we feel like we're not just a band, but more like a bigger project. And the name came from the Bible, Exodus 15. It's not that we are 15 people involved in the band, or we existed for 15 years. We opened book of Exodus, 15th chapter, and there's song of Moses and Miriam. And Moses was singing worship song to God after they just crossed the Red Sea. And he was worshiping him with words that the Lord is my strength and my defense, and he has become my salvation, so I will praise him. And when we read those words, we thought, that's just perfect. Fits perfectly to what we feel, and it's the same with us. We just want to praise God and worship him because he became our salvation, our strength. He's our savior. So that's why Exodus 15, that's why this name.
And when you say project, when you're mentioning more names, we have 5 people here today with us, and I think I can say key people for the band, but or core people, but the band is much more than that. You mentioned other people, musicians, or people who they work. Who are these people who are part of the band?
Yeah, there are a few more playing with us right now, but in the past there was even more than that, and we feel that we are still, all of us, Exodus 15, and not only musicians but also technical crew, which is getting bigger and bigger every year, and we are of course really grateful to have them. We feel safe with them playing. So it's a lot of people playing in the band and helping the band for so many years. But we also hope it's more than only music. But how to say, we would like to think about it like a platform to equip other bands or help others, or platform for churches to search music they can use in their churches. If we can help someone with workshops or advice, we really would like to do it as still call it Exodus 15, but doing many different things.
And when you say people, and you mentioned these different people, the one thing that comes to my mind is, of course, relationships. And in Proem, the Exodus 15 is the band that came out of Proem and is part of Proem Ministries. That's why we're having you here on the podcast today. But the band, and I mean, at Proem, we always say, relationships first. And it seems like that idea is pretty pretty evident with Exodus 15 as a band. There are people, Michael, that has been with the band, what, 15 years?
Yes, we have people that are from the beginning, and some other guys are for 7, 8 years with us. So yeah, we have a long story of doing things together and recording and traveling, and also not only musicians, but every musician, or maybe not every musician, they have wives. So whenever we go somewhere, we are trying to go as big group as possible. So to have fun, to build relationships, and to do something good for God and people.
So how did it start? Let's just explain or tell our viewers, listeners, how did Exodus 15 start?
We started as a group of, I would say, kids or youth, just leading worship at Proem's camps. And that's all we wanted to do. We came here to the camp as teenagers to help out with music, and we really, I don't know if we had this whole big picture band in mind.
No,
We didn't.
We definitely didn't. We just thought, okay, we can help with worship. Then we thought, okay, maybe we can help more and come for more camps or for conferences or whatever. And we thought, hey, maybe we could try do it not only at the camp, but go somewhere. Maybe some other churches would like to have worship nights that we could lead. So that's how we started. We had no idea where God is leading us and what we'll learn doing all we did. But yeah,
This was the beginning.
This was the beginning.
And in order to start, I mean, you were the worship band, or just trying to play at different, not even events. I think at that time, but just trying to go to different churches, right, and play the worship nights. But then you had an idea to start off with an album recording, and it couldn't be just a regular CD. It was the DVD. And those of you who don't know what it is, some of our viewers or listeners may not really remember what a DVD is, but it's a video on a disc. You decided to start with the first album was really a DVD recording.
First in Poland.
It was first in Poland.
When we talk about Christian
Yes.
music. So
there was no video like this. I mean, no DVD like that before.
No, I think that was the first full DVD
Christian
concert.
Mm-hmm.
We did it in 2007. We came back from States, where we went visiting churches, playing worship, and it was really a big moment for us. And after we came back, we decided that we should do something. We should start recording, although we didn't know how to do it, but yeah, it was the idea.
But we wanted to.
Yeah.
And we have the support of Proem Ministries and people in churches, which we start to cooperate. Like actually, few people in churches in States, they were mentors for us. So we were looking
Inspired
at them.
us.
They inspired us, and we thought maybe we can try.
Przemek, it was the first recording, and of course, you. Oh,
Maybe you should explain.
yes,
why
the
I'm
microphone.
using
Okay,
this.
yes, Przemek. So Przemek,
Microphone.
he oversees the technical part of the band, and he never gets to sing on the stage, never gets to use the microphone like this. So this time, we decided he may have a regular mic, and you maybe even. Maybe
If
you
you
guys,
like, I can sing later for you.
you can try, maybe, and I think it will be fun.
like. We would like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Record
Why not?
DVD, maybe.
Well, let's talk about the DVD that you actually recorded. 2007, no experience before, and here you are. It's not gonna be just a recording. It's gonna be live. It's gonna be at the camp because it was one camp night, but it's gonna be live and it's gonna be video and audio. Crazy.
Yes.
How did you manage this?
Yes. I was so stressed. I don't know if I even remember how we did. No, but it was a big challenge for us because we didn't have experience, and for us we were still in the era of analog audio mixers, so that made it even harder. Right now it's much more easier. You can just plug in the computer or your pen drive to the mixer and record, track the music. At that time, we had to use a big sound card, and so we were able to purchase the card, and everything worked fine until the day of the recording, and the card started to give us problems, and it was a nightmare because we were like 2 or 3 hours before the recording, and then the sound card just stopped working and stopped responding. So we called the manufacturer. They couldn't help us. So
They couldn't.
They couldn't. They didn't know what's going on. But finally, it's we got it working. I'm sure it was our prayers were answered because we prayed for it to start working. So and we were finally able to record the whole concert and then mix it afterwards in the studio. So that was our first
And then we
production.
sold like 100,000 copies of it.
And became
Really?
rich.
Really?
No.
But we sold all the
Yeah, we
DVDs
sold everything we
produced.
printed.
we printed, so.
Nice.
Impressive.
So you have the first album behind you. It started well. If the band has an album, it's time to go
On tour.
on the road. Hit the road, Jack, and you did hit the road. You started going to different places, and the different places started to invite you, right?
No.
Kind
Not
of.
really.
We asked them to invite us.
Okay, so you have invited yourselves. How was it, Michael? Can you remember the time?
Yeah, well, yes, it was really hard to get somewhere. We had list of Christian events in Poland, and so we were trying to call different people and ask if they maybe want to have a band but it wasn't easy to go somewhere. So mostly we were playing at the Proem camps and events, and it was great also for us because we had opportunity to learn stuff, to write new songs, to play together, to be a better band. But we didn't have much opportunities to go somewhere else.
And
What
the
was-
places we went not always were big places. Like it was lots of hard work for, especially with the equipment and stuff, many hours of carrying heavy stuff. And then
Preparations, everything.
preparations, and then just few people came. Not only not very excited people about us.
But you still
So-
had to play.
Yes,
Or some
but
drunk guys dancing with us
Oh.
in front of the stage.
but we knew. I bet. I'm sure we many times we asked ourselves, why do we do this, or should we keep going? Because sometimes it was really hard. But then we thought, okay, we're not doing it for ourselves. We are just serving God, and if there's at least one person who will have something from what we did, it's worth going. So we kept going.
So you kept going, and then the opportunity for a studio album came up. Remember the first audio recording? Chiche, you were part of the band at the time already, right?
I do remember it because it was my beginning in the band. And you had your challenges recording DVD. I remember a first studio album was a challenge to me because I kind of felt like, oh, I have it. I'm ready to record it. And then I started playing. I heard it all, and I thought, oh, I don't really have it. I didn't feel enough, but we kept going, and it turned out well, and I think we're in a totally different
Yes.
place now.
That recording was in California, in Pasadena, and I remember BJ Davis, who came there, help us. He was a big big help, or like he helped us going.
He's a music producer.
Yes, he was our music producer and much more. So it was great to have him there. He taught us a lot.
Like we had only 5 days there to record like a full album with 10 songs. So for us it was impossible, but somehow we did it.
BJ made it
Maybe
possible.
it happened.
Yeah.
Shamak, I see you already wanted to say something here.
No, I just wanted to say that BJ was he had to be really patient, and he was great. I know he was big help for the band, for beginners like
Yeah.
we were at that time. But he's a great producer, so his tips and involvement in that recording
Was critical.
helped, yes, a lot.
And he
And we
helped
are
us-
still using those tips.
Yes. Yeah, and he helped us with another 2 albums also. So
Thank you, BJ Davis. If you're watching us or listening to us,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes.
And all the people all the way who made it happen, because there has been quite a lot of people. There have been quite a lot
yes.
of people.
and
Along
this
the way.
year we had
Mhm.
this year we had chance to play with BJ Davis' son.
Yes.
So it's like a big circle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He came to Poland, so yeah.
nice. So you've got the album, you've got your studio album. The concerts are slowly happening, but not as fast and not as many as you wish. And then the breakthrough album comes. That's how we should probably call it.
Yeah, live concert,
Mhm. Worship.
concert, also recorded in Zakościele, but we were in different place
Yes.
at that time, like not place, but as a band. We were much more prepared and aware of what we are doing, but still we needed help, and some guests from America also came to help us to do it.
Yes.
Brian Sides played piano with us then.
Bijan Davis came to help us record everything.
So when I listen to you, it seems like there's always another person and then another person, and again, we're coming back to this idea of it's not okay. Exodus 15 is not the musicians only, or the few musicians. It is much more than that. It's the team, the crew, the tech crew, the people who come alongside. It's like a whole project that you can call Exodus 15, and everybody should feel a part of it. You know, you've played your part. You're important, and we want you to feel like you're part of the Exodus 15 project or family. Well, you are also in a very specific place as a band, because most musicians, most bands, they have to they start a band and they work on their own. They record their music and then they play concerts, and that's how they try to make their living. You don't just play the music. You don't just sing. You're not just part of the band. You work at Proem Ministries, and people who are also part of the band, they work. If they don't work with Proem, they are.
They have regular jobs.
That's unique. How does it make the band unique? You think? What
It shows that they really care. There is no money coming out of this playing. There is a lot of work and giving their time, free time. We play mostly on Saturdays or Sundays, so it's for people who has regular work. It's only day off, but they spend it with us.
It's like a true ministry for them. That's their place of
They're
serving
serving.
God.
And you're a teacher.
Yes.
You're a preschool teacher or preschool
Yes.
teacher. You are a school director. Chihu is a teacher of the Word of God. So, and also involved in the work, church planting work in Piotrków. Przemek does a lot of work, but not just with the band. A lot of tech work. Michał does the worship stuff for and not just worship, but a lot of media, social media stuff, and all these worship arts ministries. So it's not just the band. I think it's very unique. But I think it also takes off the pressure from you that you have to, like, being part of Proem Ministries. It takes off the pressure that you have to make a living by playing in the band, which I think in our country is pretty liberating.
Yeah.
Especially for a Christian band. It's very hard. So I think I think it's a blessing. We get to be a band. We get to travel and do this band stuff and still not worry about how much we will play or if we'll have food or if we'll have money to cover expenses of our living. So that's a blessing for us. That
And it makes us more available for small churches, for example, if they really want to invite us to play on on their conference or something for youth. Of course, sometimes it's impossible to collect enough money, but then we can say, okay, maybe you can pay
Come anyway.
less, or how much can you pay?
And this way
Can
you
you
contribute
cover?
not just with music, but also with like really the finances to the conference that you say, hey, we will come, but for less money. And I think this is the reality for some of us, the American listeners or viewers, that may be in you, because if a band goes, usually they should at least break even, and here sometimes you wouldn't go to certain places if it wasn't possible, if it wasn't for the fact that you're part of the ministry that allows you to go, right? So that's a very unique place for Exodus and Exodus 15 as a band. But it also allowed you to go and start going to some new places, bigger places. And when you go to bigger places or invited to larger concerts, it takes a completely new preparation, and you like it completely takes everything to a new level. Przemek, you are in charge of all the tech crew and everything that happens behind the scenes. How much time do you remember? Can you say how much time it takes for people who never have no experience with a band like this? How much time does it take to prepare a concert, to come
for a live concert? Usually our tech team, our tech crew, which is a really great team. They go in the morning and then start setting up at the location. Like maybe 6 or 7 hours, depending on the setup. But it's before the band comes in on stage, everything has to be ready. So we try to make them feel as comfortable as possible, and try to have everything ready for the rehearsal or sound check. So usually our tech crew goes a lot earlier.
How many people? Tech crew?
It's sometimes it gets up to 10, maybe even more, depending on also on where we play and how much carrying needs to be done of equipment. So yeah, that's how it is.
And I just wanted to say that we truly have the best tech team. I give all the credit to Przemek because they're also humble and helpful, and we feel so blessed. Sometimes it's easy. I mean, it's easy to go on the stage and knowing that maybe it's not easy. It's so comfortable knowing that they're there, and if something goes wrong, they will always help and figure out even during the concert. So we are really blessed to have them.
When you go and play, when you look at the list of places where you play and people who listen to you, one of the breakthrough moments was the YouTube channel that you started. That gave you a lot of exposure and people to your music. And this may be particularly interesting for our foreign listeners or viewers, but you don't just go to evangelical churches, right? You play at even big Catholic events, right? Can you tell a little bit about this? What kind of experience that is?
Yeah, for the last 4 years, I think 90% of events that we play is organized by Catholic Church. So really different places, outside events or concerts in churches, and it's great possibility for us, great journey and great experience, and really we are able to see how God is changing Poland. Really, it's incredible to see so many people worshiping God. And before we thought that it's only in Protestant churches people are worshiping God with music, but now after a few years it's really impossible. It's really crazy what we see.
And one of the biggest events was that you've ever played, or the biggest event
Yes.
really, was the Catholic event, right?
Yes.
Where was it?
At the
Warsaw?
National Stadium in Warsaw, there were around 40,000 people.
40,000 people. It was a Catholic youth rally, conference.
And they invited us.
Mhm.
So we were honored
Hmm.
and really happy. We never dreamed that this is possible in Poland.
So you play for this big audience. You play for many different people, and then all of a sudden, those who listen to you, they get a children's album, children's songs, or songs for the family. How that come? How that happened to be?
Children became coming into our band, also into our families. So this kind of was a pretty natural step for us to do things for kids. But we started recording kids music because of our camps. Camps that Proem does for children. Every year we sing different songs with lots of
Yeah,
kids.
we started with kids camps and we never stopped. We
Yeah.
still every year sing and dance with kids at the summer camps.
And we can see that kids, we love it. It's great to sing and write music for kids. It's wonderful. And also we can see the kids who are coming for the camp. They also love to get the music from the camp to be able to sing with their parents at home. So that's why we decided to do it, and we're keep doing it.
I remember we were recording one song each year. It
Yes.
was like a theme song for summer for kids. So after 3 years, when we had like
Yeah.
3 songs, we were thinking, why not to record 7 or 8
7 more and have an album.
And it happened 3 times.
Yeah.
And it's actually interesting because, and this was the time where we had a baby, our firstborn, and I was thinking in my head, what now? Like, probably we're all done. I mean, at least I'm done because I'm with my baby at home. But this was actually good time, maybe not to go for many concerts, but to stay at home and just write music for kids. And maybe I was thinking that our children will kind of stop us or stop the ministry, or I don't know, change something.
We will have to slow down.
Yeah, and it was
But
the
it turned
opposite
out
way. When the kids came along to our band, we started doing more and more things, and
Yeah.
that's great.
Well, 6 worship albums, 3 worship albums for children or for families, as you like to say, because it's not just for kids. This is for families to sing together, parents and kids. Concerts in small places, concerts for thousands of people, recordings in Poland, recordings in the studio in America, in California. Like, I mean, I'm just trying to think, of different things that happened within the last 15 years. 30 years of Proem Ministries is 15 years of Exodus 15. So that's quite a lot of accomplishment already behind you. And what should we wish you for the years to come? Since it's your anniversary also, the 15th anniversary. So what should we wish you? What do you wish yourselves for the future for Exodus 15?
I think everyone should wish us, and we should wish us too, which is maybe not easy, but not to be always in the same place. I hope that in 15 years, when we'll look back, we'll be in some totally different place, doing other things, more things. So I want us to keep going for sure, but I just hope God will show us the way. And as we are totally different band as we were 15 years ago, we've changed so much, we've learned so much. So I hope that we will keep doing that and just changing, learning, and discovering more what God has for us.
We just want to be open for God's will. And we ask Him for wisdom, what we should do, what's the next step. Is there something more we can do?
And what do you think is the next step when you think about it?
Well, we would love to be more and more, not just only a band, but like a music worship project, and we want to involve, another next generation of people, and we don't want to be like, I don't know, like in 20, 30 years, like Rolling Stones, nearly living there on the stage, and but still playing, but
Same songs.
same songs, which is great for
We love.
someone.
Yeah, some of them. Some of
Yeah,
people
so,
love it.
Yeah, we wanna continue this with next generation for sure.
Tomek? And a wish from you?
That's a surprise. You're asking me. Okay. I
Yes.
wish for another 15 years with a great tech crew like we have right now, because we're good friends, and it's always fun to go, on tour. It's hard work, but we also have a lot of fun, setting up and playing jokes and pranks on each other, and just having a great time.
Or maybe there will be another episode one day when you can when we can just talk about the pranks, because it will probably fill quite many hours of the conversation. But today, just want to say thank you for your work, for your ministry, for what you're doing, and to say that I wish you that knowing you for the last years, I know that you have always been able to play the same for 10,000 people, 1,000 people, 100 people, and for one person. That you will play the same way and always worshiping the same God with the same passion. And I wish you that you would continue the same way for the next years to come, and that new people, that next generation, the younger people who will come after you, that they will learn from you and will be having the same mindset, that no matter how many people are sitting or standing before you, before the stage, that you always are playing for the audience of one. And let it be so. Thank you very much for the conversation. Thank you to all of you who have been listening and watching us. We hope that you not only listen to our podcast, but if you'd be so kind, we would really appreciate if you could share it in social media and send it to your friends. We appreciate all of the comments and all of the nice words that you're sending our way, and especially this year, that marks 30 years of Proem Ministries. Thank you for your prayers, your support, and being always people that we can go to and are always willing to listen and to support us in the ministry here in Poland. 30 years, Proem Ministries, Past But Not Gone podcast. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Thank you to all of you who've been listening and watching us. This is Past But Not Gone podcast. 30 years of Proem Ministries.